Welcome, Middlers, to the Medium in the Middle podcast. My name is Stephanie, and I take you on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual exploration. I am a Reiki master teacher, a spiritual and business mentor, and of course, a psychic medium. And I am here to share my story and help you tap into your extraordinary abilities. Join me every Wednesday as we dive into the realms of intuition, energy healing, and all things mystical. Whether you're a seasoned spiritual seeker or just dipping your toes into the magical waters, this podcast is your go-to source for inspiration, guidance, and a whole lot of lessons and laughter along the way. Let's get started. Hello, Middlers. Welcome to episode 223. My name is Stephanie. I am the medium in the middle. How are you? It was just the long weekend here in Canada for Canada Day, and I actually took 2 days off, and I'm very proud of myself. I went out to BC for 2 nights. I feel like whenever I go away, it's always like I'm getting in a plane and I'm going somewhere. I'm really bad at doing things in Alberta or BC. I live in such a beautiful area. I can drive so many places. And I went out to Invermere, and I haven't been to Invermere in years. At least 10 years. So I was like, why don't I do things like this? It's so hard when you run your own business to not only take the time off, but to book something and to do all the things you need to do to leave your house. And especially on a long weekend. But I was just grateful to go somewhere and do something and deal with the crowds and the busyness and pay the extra money for a long weekend. And you know what? C'est la vie. So for today's episode, I have a mentee story that happened a little while ago, and I think I have shared this before, maybe on the podcast or on Instagram, but it's just such a good lesson that I wanted to bring back around. So we're going to be talking about that today on the podcast. Before we jump into that, I just have a few announcements about Reiki trainings. The next level 1, if you are waiting to learn Reiki, is July 27th and 28th. The next level 2 is the 20th and the 21st. I know summertime is busy, but it is a good time to take a Reiki training because you have a 21-day release after each training where the energy is running through you and you're getting kind of like a spring energetic cleansing. It's nice during the summertime when you're outside, you're already grounding, you're already spending time in nature. Maybe you're in the pool more, and it's just going to help you with that reset when you're not stuck inside. So it is a good time. You can take your laptop and sit outside while you do the course. I will leave those links down below. And just a reminder, I do host those courses monthly. So whenever the dates work for you, that's usually your time, your call to Reiki to sign up. So level 1 is the 27th and the 28th, and level 2 is on the 20th. And the next Mediumship Practice Circle is also on July 20th in the morning, 11 a.m. to 12:15 Mountain Standard Time. For that, it's a practice circle where you get instruction from me. Then you go into a breakout room where you will give and receive a practice 20-minute mediumship reading. And then we come back together as a group and discuss it. They've been very successful all year. I've gotten a lot of good feedback on those. Open to anyone who thinks they're a medium, wants to try out mediumship, wants to test out their mediumship. It's a really good opportunity to also receive from a new medium. So you're not comparing yourself to the pros, you're comparing yourself to other people who are practicing. So it's nice to just see where other people are at as well. I am trying to host these monthly so that you always have a space to practice in where you are partnered with a stranger, which is usually easier to read for someone you don't know. So I'll leave all the links you need for that down below as well to register. Spaces are limited, so just make sure when you register you can attend live. So I did my weekly card pull on Instagram. @mediuminthemiddle is my only account. As always, beware of scammers. I will never DM you. I will never ask you for money. But you guys voted for the Rebecca Campbell Work Your Light deck, and we pulled Birthing a New Age. Birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. Often our path is exactly the one we don't feel prepared to walk. Walk it anyway. Often what is rising feels far bigger than we could possibly hold. Be a container for it anyway. Often our creations seem to have a wild, uncontrollable consciousness of their own. birth them anyway. Often what is ours to do is the very thing that most intimidates us. Be courageous and do it anyways. We are birthing a new age. Right now, we're in a transition period between ages, in the process of allowing the old cycle to fall away and the new to rise. Like driving in the fog and trusting the road will appear ahead, we need to release old identities and ways that no longer serve us, using our intuition as a compass. You are a part of a group of souls who have been incarnating at significant periods of history, preparing for this exact time, dreaming a new world into being. It is time to give permission and space for what is beckoning within to be born. We are dreaming a new world into being. Okay, birthing a new age. I really feel like that right now in my business. I feel like there's change coming and don't know what yet, but I know some things that are shifting. I know some things that I'm adding in or taking away, or the full picture isn't there yet, but it's interesting when you get those intuitive hits, you really have to listen to them. So today's episode is inspired by one of my mentees from a few rounds ago. This person was actually a friend of mine when I used to live in Ontario. And then she started going through an awakening and she reached out to me. So she ended up joining my 3-month mentorship program that will be opening again in August. And I believe we're going to start in September this time. I have not confirmed the dates, but you can join the waitlist on my website if you are interested in working in my mentorship program for the remainder of 2024. This will be the last time it opens for the year because it's a 3-month program. So she joined this program while she was going through her awakening, and on the first call when we were chatting, she was telling me everything that was going on with her. And it was the first or second call that I identified that she was a channeler. And I was like, so I think you're a channeler. I think you need to look up what a channeler is. And I think all of your problems are going to be solved once you realize what a channeler is. So channelers usually receive messages and information very, very fast. They usually speak to like universal oneness. So if you think of the Akashic records as going into your own masters, teachers, and loved ones, channelers can easily connect with like the energy of oneness, the universe. They are very connected to guides. They get information very fast. They channel books. They sometimes channel specific people, but it's very much like universal energy. So after the first few sessions together, we identified she was a channeler, and then we started to work through different issues that she was having, different things that would come up. And essentially with channelers, things happen so fast. They get information very fast. They move through lessons very fast. They connect with their guides very fast. Just everything is very, very fast. So she was telling me about how she talks to her guides. If she ever has a question, she asks her guides, she gets the answer. It was like a very fast interaction. And one day she brought this problem to me and she said that she was going through a little bit of a panic about having cancer. And I can't remember the exact situation, but I think there was cancer in her family, and she was worried that she was going to be diagnosed with cancer. So she started to ask her guides if she was going to get cancer or if she had cancer. And her guides always said no. And then she started to ask her guides every single day, do I have cancer? And every single day, the guides would say no. And then she said, well, Steph, my guides, every time I ask them if I have cancer, they say no, but now they're saying no, yes. Why are they saying no, yes? And I was like, well, you're not listening when they say no. So now they're saying no, yes, because it doesn't matter what they say. You're not listening. You ask them every day if you have cancer. Every day they say no. Every day you don't believe them or you're not listening. So now they're saying no, yes. So then the next time we talked, she was like, Steph, I'm still asking them every day, and now they're saying no, yes, no. She's like, why are they saying no, yes, no? And I'm laughing, and I was like, you're not seeing the point. You can't ask them every single day if you have cancer, because every single day they've said no, and you didn't listen. And then they said no, yes, and then you were confused, and then you thought maybe you did have cancer. And now they're saying no, yes, no, and you're even more confused. but you know the answer is you don't have cancer. And she would even say, I know I don't have cancer. I'm just double checking. And I was like, so your guides are messing with you. They want you to trust your intuition. You know you don't have cancer. They have told you no. How many more times and ways can they tell you no? Like, you're not listening anyway. So whether they say yes, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, yes, no, 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 yes, like their response doesn't matter. And it took a while for this lesson to land, but it's a hard lesson that I find people do this in spirituality a lot. They ask an answer that they already know, and then they wonder why they don't get the right answer. That's a lesson. When you know the answer, but you're double checking and you get the wrong answer, it's because you already know, so you don't need to check. How are we ever going to learn to trust our intuition if we're always double checking? So this, in a simpler example for those of us who are not channelers, myself included, I can read the Akashic Records. I'm a medium. I'm a psychic, but I cannot channel. I can channel spirit, but not in the same way that channelers will channel the universal energy. Everyone is different. Everyone has different skills. Everyone is good at different things. But as a simple example of this, I see often that it happens where people do too much, and then they start to get the no, yes, no, yes, no, no, yes, and then they're confused. So a common thing is if you pull cards for yourself every day, I would ask why you need confirmation from your cards every single day. Confirmation once in a while is fine. Confirmation once a week is okay. Confirmation if you're in a little rut is different. But every single day, I would just ask you why. Is it because you don't trust your intuition? Is it because you need the cards to tell you because you don't trust your intuition? And just getting to the root cause of why you need guidance every single day. If you're listening to your intuition and your guides, that should be plenty of guidance. But to want more, I would not be surprised if you start to get no, yes, yes, no. And I see it often in my mentorship. People will be like, oh, my cards were wrong. I was like, what do you mean? Well, I knew it was this, but the card said this. I was like, huh. And do you see the lesson? The cards were wrong on purpose to get you to see the lesson. The yes, no, yes happened on purpose to get you to see the lesson. The no, yes, no happened on purpose to get you to see the lesson. So there's guidance, but there's also always lessons wrapped in the guidance. So I've been finding myself saying this little analogy often, and I say it a lot to my students. I will always teach you how to add. I will not tell you the answer to 2 + 2. And everyone will say, no, what's 2 + 2? And I'll teach you how to add. And you'll be like, okay, well, no, but what's 2 + 2? And I'll try to teach you how to add. And you're sitting there wanting the answer booklet of, what? No, what's 2 + 2? This is how you add. And there is no benefit of me telling you the answer is 4. Absolutely no benefit. Me teaching you how to add and get to the answer yourself has lots of benefits. So I see that example happen in so many other things where not only teachers will do this, but cards will do this, pendulums will do this, your guides will do this. They're not always going to tell you the answer is 4. It is more beneficial for them to teach you how to add. So we're all sitting here saying, what's 2 + 2? What's 2 + 2? What's 3 + 3? What's 5 + 5? And instead of learning how to add, we're just looking for the answers. And I always compare it to children because we know with children, well, when I was a kid, the answers were in the back of the math book. And you would have to do your math homework and then double check with the answer book in the back. But you didn't just go to the answer book in the back and fill in all the answers without learning how to do math. That defeats the purpose of learning. And I feel like these experiences are just that. They're not going to give you the answer booklet. They are going to teach you how to add. What's 2 + 2? Let me teach you how to add. No. 2 + 2 is, let me show you how to add. No, I just need the answer. What's 2 + 2? Is it 5? Is it 6? Is it 3? What's 2 + 2? So just be mindful and do a little scan of your life of where you feel like you're being taught to add or where you feel like there's a lesson. Because if you're not getting the answer, there's a reason. You're probably trying to skip the lesson if you're not getting what you are requesting or what you're looking for, or if you're not getting help in a certain area. So be mindful of that because lessons are tricky. And the easier you can identify them, the quicker you can move through them. So I wanted to bring that lesson back around this week. It felt important. I wanted to also talk about manifesting, but I think I'll save that for next week. So that is what I was inspired to share this week with you all. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helps you scan your life and see where you are being shown to add. 2 + 2 is... If you haven't already, please subscribe to the podcast. I release new episodes every Wednesday. I would love and appreciate a rating and review wherever you listen. If you want to book an appointment with me, I have in-person sessions and virtual sessions available worldwide. I offer Reiki, distance Reiki, Reiki courses, Psych K. Pay attention on Instagram. It's where I do all of my launches for when I do open card readings and Akashic record readings. Story viewers always get it first, and I usually only open 10 spots. They usually sell out in 20 minutes. So just keep an eye for those special offers. There'll be more coming this summer. I will leave all the links you need down below in the show notes for my courses or to book a session with me. Come see me in Banff, Alberta. But until next Wednesday, Midlers, when I see you in your ears, I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye, everybody.